Minister, I want to thank the Progressive Democrats first, Social Democrats. There's a slight difference. First, for bringing forward this motion. Unfortunately, they shouldn't have had to do this. We're coming back here time and time again. I know my own colleague Kathleen Funchion had a motion here some months ago quite similar to this, but we keep coming back to the same situation, that this legislation is exclusionary. Even at this stage we're excluding people. We really have to stop and to think what we are doing, because when some of these horrific things were done to these children and to these mothers, some people can preclude or some people can proclaim that they didn't know, that they didn't have full knowledge, so they didn't know. Now we have the full knowledge. We know what we're doing, and we have to go back and we have to do this right. And the particular thing that sticks in my neck is the fact that we are saying that babies under 6 months of age don't matter, that what happened to them in those 6 months doesn't matter. Yet we have all the kinds of evidence now and everything else to say that the first 6 months, indeed even before that, of a child's life is crucially important. And what happened to these babies in the first 6 months of their lives is important. And we need to stand up and we need to acknowledge that it's important. And we need to show how important it is by doing the right thing in this situation. It's crazy. It's just 6 months. We're like, why not 7 months? Why not 5 months? Why not 8 months? 6 months. It has to stop. And it has to stop here today. And I hope that this motion will have the effect of stopping that. It is time, it is past time to respect all the mother and baby home survivors and their families. The people who are watching in on this today who are 6 months, who spent less than 6 months in these institutions, they're adults now. They're mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their grandmothers and their grandfathers. And they all have children as well who are impacted. So we have an intergenerational impact of what has happened to these babies. And that's why we have a responsibility. And that's the ones that survived. And we always have to remember when we talk about this, the ones who didn't survive, like the 796 children who died in Tuam, whose lives were taken away. We have to remember those. And I do want to acknowledge, Joseph Mulcrone from Oireachtas in Westport, who this year, who was born in a mother and baby home himself, who has climbed Croagh Patrick 7 times to remember those children, to remember them, because he needs to make sure that they are not forgotten and that the suffering that they went through and that others went through aren't forgotten. And of course, none of us would be where we are without Catherine Corliss and the wonderful work that she has done, and indeed others that are carrying on that, like Valerie Jennings in Mayo. So I just want to acknowledge what they have done as well.
Thank you, Deputy.